Get your buckets ready. This is episode number 71, the 1983 flick, All the Right Moves, picked by Dave. This has Been There, Watch That, BeenThereWatchThat.com, and then also social media. Just type in BTWT Pod. Send in your movie recommendations, and we'll review them.
Now, mop buckets, as in, we got
I
a mess
like
to clean up.
I like you started off like that, and there was a texting joke between us. One of you go over that because I didn't catch it at first. I had to go back because I can't remember if I was driving or what, and I was like, somebody text me, and I just glanced at my watch and I was like, I don't know what that means. And I kept on going. But,
Oh, yeah, when Justin said all the right mop buckets.
Yeah, Joe.
oh yeah, there we go.
Joe needed a reminder what we're reviewing this week, and instead of All the Right Moves, typed in All the Right Mop Buckets. For those that don't know, our local movie theater, the Roby, that's the biggest popcorn size you can get. We do all our ratings on a popcorn basis, from burnt all the way up to a mop bucket, which is a stellar rating.
Yeah, which is a very rare rating on the show.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go back and see how many we've handed out. I don't even remember which. I think definitely Shawshank I did a mop bucket on.
Yeah, I think Shawshank did the documentary on Grandma Ginga.
Mm-hmm.
No, we did Drunken Husbands on that one.
Right.
Forrest Gump.
Yep.
It's not
hard
a
to
lot.
come by. Yeah, they're hard to come by.
All right, so you guys ready for a rundown and casting call?
You
I think
betcha.
so.
All right, so Stefan, and guys, help me with the last name.
Georgievich.
There you go. The star player of his high school football team is desperately hoping that his football talents will earn him a scholarship. His only chance to get out of his dying hometown in Ampipe, Pennsylvania. When a heated argument with head coach, played by Craig T. Nelson, gets him kicked off the team and blacklisted from college recruiters, Stefan must fight for a chance to live out his dream and escape the dead-end future he faces.
Holy cow! What a future! I felt bad because, man, you see a town dying. Obviously, the plant's closing.
Right.
Very similar to Slapshot.
Yeah.
Steel Town. Once the mill or factory closes, the town just goes under, which was struggling anyway.
Right.
Western PA area.
Yeah, gosh, and I lived in Pittsburgh for 3 years, so I mean, you go by and you see all the old steel factories. This was on the money.
Right.
What a movie for the time.
So on the casting call, we have Tom Cruise playing Steph, and he's known for The Outsiders, which is in our archives.
Mm-hmm.
Top Gun, Jerry Maguire, Mission Impossible. Leah Thompson plays Lisa, and she's known for Howard the Duck, which is also in our archives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh.
And Back to the Future. Craig T. Nelson plays Nickerson, and he's known for Coach, The Incredibles, and Poltergeist. Paul Carafotes plays Salvucci, and he's known for Fight Club and CSI New York.
The Vooch.
And Chris Penn plays Brian, and he's known for Reservoir Dogs, which is in our archives, and Footloose. And that is your casting call.
Yeah, brother of
Sean Penn?
Sean Penn, yeah.
Really?
Didn't know that.
Did not
It's
know
funny because Chris is heavy and Sean's super skinny.
that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah. But
Chris Penn in this movie, and then you see a current picture of him. Yeah, put on.
yeah, I mean, back then he was in Footloose and stuff, and he was a ripped young man.
Right.
And then you see him in like Rush Hour and stuff where he's chunky.
I might have a little bit.
Still
of
a good actor, but chunky.
A little bit of a bone to pick with the synopsis that Tom Cruise's character is the star player. I didn't see him as that. Did you?
Okay, thank you. I didn't either.
Yeah,
He
he
seemed
was
like he
he
was
was one of the
struggling.
main players, but
Yeah. He was on defense, right?
yeah, he played defense. But they had the quarterback, rifleman. I guess he was a headhunter though, like a big hitter.
Yeah.
Known on the defense as a big hitter.
Yep.
But the real star was his buddy Brian, who played by Chris Penn, who
Yep.
was the massive linebacker that got the big offered California first.
Right.
And then rifleman, the quarterback, going to WVU.
Yeah, I like the WVU shout out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked that. That was.
Go Ears.
West Virginia.
Yeah. So
And he was excited about it, which because most of
yeah.
the time when anything associated with West Virginia, it's bad.
yeah, back in the '80s would have been
Don Nealon.
Don
era.
Nealon, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was knocking some dust off of there.
yeah. So that'd have been a big time call. So gosh, what a roller coaster. And so let's start off. What do you guys think was the most poignant scene for you? Like, if you're going to recommend this to someone, what part would you bring in? Because this is 4 or 5 movies rolled into one.
Justin, you want to go first, or you want me to?
If you got some, go for it.
For me, it's right at the end when Stefan and the coach realize that both of these two have egos that are massive.
Yeah.
And they both realize, you know what? We need to set egos aside, and we can't get through this without each other.
Yeah.
Because Stefan, his ego is like, he's bigger than football in his own mind. And the coach is like, Coach, to a point, was in the right of not letting Stefan run the show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the coach, I need to do. But in the end, they realize, we need to work this out together.
Yeah, I agree. That was such a big part of the movie. Was the coach was doing the same thing as Stefan.
Yeah.
Looking to get his family out of there and looking to go somewhere else. And you saw that in the beginning of the movie when he was talking to his wife. He's like, "This is our ticket out of here."
Right.
These coaches, I'm finalist for this job, and we got to get out of here.
Right.
Be a defensive coach.
Yeah, and
something
then
like that.
and of course Stefan, same thing. I got to get out of here.
Right.
All of them wanted out. So yeah, that's great, Joe. Justin, you got one?
One that kind of sticks out for me a little bit is when Steph comes home and his brother's on the front porch saying he's going to go get loaded at the bar, and
Yeah.
he kind of asks a little bit more like, well, what's going on? He got laid off along with 700 other people from the mill. And just that little connection the younger brother had relating to his older brother, and kind of feel the feeling of helplessness, like there's nothing he can do, but he's just kind of like, man, this is rough.
Yeah. What do you do? He's living at home with Pop, and
Mm-hmm.
lost his job. What do you do? I had a couple. I had one, which kind of falls as the movie poster where he's under the bleachers talking to Brian, and Brian's like, "Hey, my girlfriend's pregnant," and he's like, "You poor dumb bastard," and just.
Yeah.
I was like, can you imagine sitting in that seat where you want out of Ampipe so bad,
Mm-hmm.
and you're a big time linebacker, and you get a full ride to California, and then you're having a baby with your high school sweetheart, and he knew, I'm getting married, I'm going to stay here,
Mm-hmm.
try to work at the factory, and that's life,
Yeah.
And Brian's sitting there, or not Brian, but Steph is sitting there going, that I would kill for your ticket out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's just so much wrapped up in that, where his girlfriend Lisa, played by Leah Thompson, did want to have sex, and he's sitting there looking about what happens if you do and it goes wrong.
Right.
So a lot of complicated things rolled up into that one scene.
Right.
Yeah, because Steph kind of throws a couple things out there. He's like, like you could still go to college, and they have like
Family
places where-
apartments, yeah.
you could still have a kid and be in college, and his friends just like, yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is what we do. Yeah, I don't know. That and then I'm gonna throw one more out. When he's talking to the coach and he gives his first apology. He's like, all I did was throw a little trash in your yard. And he's like, no, you threw trash on me, my wife, and my kid.
Right.
And you can see Steph just like crushed by that, because I think as a high school kid, or even a college kid, you don't fathom what having a family means.
Right.
And Joe, I'll roll this one by you, but now that you've had a daughter, everything kind of changes.
Yeah.
At least I know it did for me. When you have kids, now you have to protect your kids.
Yeah.
And as a knucklehead high school kid, you don't think in those terms.
No, you just looking out for yourself.
Yeah, and so that was poignant to me, because man, what a realization of what he did.
Yeah, it changes your priorities completely, because now
Yeah.
it goes from you can't say anything to me to I don't care what you say about me, but you leave my family out of it.
Yeah.
And once you cross that line,
Yeah.
you're that's a whole other territory that you don't want to step into.
Well, and it's just that realization that the coach Nickerson is a family man.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is for his family, the
Right.
same as Steph's trying to do for himself.
Right.
And I think that's when what you said earlier, that these two were of the same mentality. I think that's when Steph realized it. He's like, he's trying to get his family out of here. He's trying to keep his house clean for his family.
Right.
And so
Yeah, the situation was that Ampipe went into a big game and kind of blew it at the end. And
Right.
then Steph jumps in a car with some local knuckleheads.
well, you got kicked off the bus.
Yep. And goes to the coach's house, doesn't really know what's about to transpire, and gets kind of caught up in, they start spray painting the coach's house, like you choked, like get out of town.
Yeah.
Right.
And the coach looks outside and sees Steph running off, so that's how he kind of like became the breaking point for the coach. He's like, yeah, there's no way you're getting back on the team. You might have had a chance before, but after that shenanigans.
Yeah, that was the last straw.
Yeah.
Again, you can do what you want to me, but you should keep my family out of it.
Yeah.
They had nothing to do with this. They were innocent bystanders.
You did have to feel a little bit bad for Steph because he actually was trying to stop him. Like, wait, this is getting out of control.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Although I do find it interesting because when you watch it, you kind of feel like they want you to cheer on Steph as a hero, and they want to try. They don't full out do it, but they kind of want you to believe like the coach is the bad guy in this. And I'm going, no, the coach is pretty well justified. You had this kid whose ego was bigger than his talent. Not talking down his talent, but his ego was bigger.
Yeah.
And thought he could not run roughshod, but play by his own rules. And the coach is going, no, I'm the one in charge here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do as I tell you because this is for your best interest.
Yep. And I like that he was smart in the classroom too.
Yeah.
He wanted to be an engineer and so forth.
Seemed like he kind of messed around a lot in class, though.
Typing class. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that. Fun little tidbit.
Okay.
This week, next year, 2023, will make this film's 40th year.
Really?
Yeah, so this week now makes it its 39th year.
Wow.
Was this after The Outsiders or before?
After.
After, yeah. So,
Yeah, it seemed like Cruise developed a little bit from that movie to this one.
Yeah.
And The Outsiders, he was kind of just like a weird loose cannon guy.
yeah.
A little more to him than this one. But wow, totally sounds like a kid. Looked somewhat like a high schooler. You know, some of these movies they throw a 30-year-old in, you don't buy it, but
Right.
you could buy him as a 17, 18-year-old kid.
Well, the director actually wanted Leah Thompson and Tom Cruise to go undercover to remember what high school was like. So they went to separate schools, and while Cruise was spotted after just one day because someone recognized him from Taps, Thompson went 4 days, was asked out by many guys, and got caught smoking.
I'd ask her out in high school if she come wandering around.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Cruise was 21 during this movie. Well, when it was released. He might have been 20 or 19.
And I got to say,
started filming.
I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan because as he's gotten older, he's just gone nuts.
Yeah.
But I got to say, he did pretty well in this one.
Mm-hmm. I thought all the sporting characters were good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
I remember him from Coach as a kid, so seeing him in this role was like, there was 100% buy-in, took zero reaction time to actually buy into that. It's like, hey, it's Coach, and
Yeah.
oh wait, he's playing a coach. Okay, this
Yeah.
works.
Now, the rival coach of Walnut Heights was an actual football coach in the area and served as a technical consultant.
Really?
And they had Ampipe is fictional, but it's based on, like Ampipe, American Pipe and Steel Company, which is also fictional. But it was most likely based on Ambridge, which is a real town northwest of Pittsburgh, which is based on the American Bridge Company.
Okay. Because I knew when the movie started and you start seeing him going through that town, I told Cena, I said, that reminds me of Wheeling. As you're driving into Wheeling, it kind of had that look.
And then they did the actual uniforms were from Ferndale Area High School in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, where the film was made. So made over in Johnstown, which is a big coal steel industry town. Huh.
Yeah.
I can't believe Thompson got caught smoking in high school.
She's got the get out of jail free card. I don't even go here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm leaving.
Well, now you're a stranger. Get off campus.
Yeah.
Fine. Can I take one of these guys that asked me out with me?
Yeah.
So anyway, 39 years old this week. All the right moves.
Wow.
All right.
What else you need to know? So we're just mop bucking this baby up and going on?
Yeah.
Now back it up. So
I'm still not sure what I'm going to rate it. I need to think it over.
Okay, so I was going to say, should I do a little peek behind the curtain, Justin, to discuss the email that was sent?
Yeah.
Okay, so peek behind the curtain. Justin sent an email saying, "Hey, is there an option to give multiple mop buckets?" And I responded and said yes, but in the back of my mind, I was going, okay, if Justin gives this multiple mop buckets, he has to justify the cost because you can't tell me, regardless of how good or bad you think this movie is, that it ranks higher than Forrest Gump.
Right.
If you're going to give it multiple mop buckets, you better have a good case.
Yeah. Might have to retroactively go give Forrest a double.
So let's talk about all the different scenarios. So you have Steph and Leah Thompson's. Tom Cruise and Leah Tompkins love issues as high schoolers.
Right.
You have his best friend Brian and his new family and his altered future
Right.
with the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
You have Steph's family with, dealing with the factory. Both of them work at the factory. Both of them go to the bar after work, and then they come home to their...
the mom not in the picture?
No mom.
Okay.
And then
Single parent household?
yeah, and you could tell it's a guy's house, a little rough, a little ran down, meal factory. Do you notice all the scenes outside were cloudy, rainy, crappy,
Yeah.
just
And
dismal?
The big football game's like pouring rain.
Yeah, starts pouring
Mud
rain.
everywhere.
Yeah, and then you have, of course, the coach
Mhm.
and his interaction with his family and him wanting to get out of there, and then his interaction with the players. And then you have, the players themselves. All of them are talking about, oh, if you're going to California, you got to learn to dance. And, and those guys are all thinking, Salvucci, the Vooch, his whole deal of, I'm only playing because so-and-so got hurt. I'm not.
Right.
So he's undervaluing himself. And then he gets caught for armed robbery, and he's screaming for the coach to help him as they drag him out of the school.
Okay, so did I miss him actually doing that? Because to me, it just kind of...
They just came in school and got him. 'Cause
Yeah.
he fumbled in the Walnuts Heights football game, and, everybody hated him. And, so then he didn't have any money. He was talking about down and out, poor. So he armed robberied somebody.
Okay, because I didn't think they had shown it.
No, they didn't.
Okay. To me, it just came seemed like way out of left field. They just showed up out of nowhere. It's like, okay, did my short attention span kick in at some point and I missed something vital?
Well, the only thing that really happened was the locker room scene where Boston College comes in to talk to coach.
Okay.
And he's talking with Salvucci, and he's like, listen, I'm not going to the last game. I got to get a job, and he talks about his dad got laid off, and, so he had to go try to help the family.
Okay, so that was a good surprise because I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Coach was trying to get him to stay, whereas he was like, yeah, I got to get a job.
Yeah.
Coach was wanting him to keep playing.
Well, and then he kind of showed off for the Boston College coach, and he's like, hey, Vinny, come on, stay with me here, man.
Yeah.
Give him a little heartfelt deal, and he's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, he gets arrested for armed robbery. I thought it was kind of not funny. Funny as in weird that, as he's being dragged out, help me, coach. But then again, what a scene.
Yeah.
You want your high school coach as your go-to person to help you.
Right.
Not call my parents or,
Yeah.
Anything, but help me, coach.
There's also the thing where Lisa is frustrated that she has aspirations too, but in her eyes, it seems like all the jocks are the ones that
Yeah.
actually get scholarships.
Yeah. She wanted to go
She doesn't
study
have
music.
the money to go to college, but she wants to
Yeah.
go study music, and
Yep, then that's a true story. I mean, even in our hometown here, football's king, and we have a lot of talented band and music and theater people, but it's hard to go to college for that.
Yeah.
But by golly, if you can run a 4.5 40 or score touchdowns or throw long passes, everybody wants you to go. So it's tough. And then you got the whole town scenario with Bosco and that whole crew. They're really proud of their town, but it's hard to be proud of a town that's dying.
Right.
So that's like the scene in the bar where he's like, hey, Bosco, can you go to the coach and tell him the truth? And, he's like, what, you ashamed of your town? And he got caught up in his own words quickly.
do you think Coach blew the big game because he should have just taken a knee and taken
Oh,
the
yeah.
safety
You always take a knee. You never try to do a handoff in the rain.
when you're in the 1 yard line?
Yeah, you just take a knee and take the safety, take whatever you need to.
Yeah.
But, have your quarterback just hold the ball.
Quite a oversight there on
Yeah.
his part there.
Then
He was blaming Tom Cruise's character for...
Well,
We wouldn't have been in that position if you hadn't done the pass interference.
true. 15 yards and first down. And he did the exact same thing he did in practice, which I thought was great foreshadowing. Exact same thing he did in practice. I thought they hit it on the money filming that.
Right.
Like, you could see him in practice and wrapping his arms before the guy touched the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Did the same thing in the game. Very good cinematography. Anyway,
Yeah, I thought
I'm pro.
they did a good job of actually showing football realistically. Like,
Yeah.
seemed like people were actually hitting and
Yeah.
tackling and doing all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like overly produced movie stuff where there's crazy people jumping
Big
higher than
hits where they
should
do a
be.
backflip.
Right,
See,
yeah,
and that's why I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, remember the Titans and blah blah blah." I'm just like, that's not real. You know, I played football most of my life and never saw anybody get hit into a backflip. You know, or
Right.
your warm up walking out on the field's a dance. That crap doesn't happen.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's what I appreciate about this film, Justin. It's a great point.
Well, we were talking about
It looked real.
on a previous show. We were talking a little bit about all-time great sports movies. Slapstick. We were talking about it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to look out there on the Google and find other notable sports movies, and there's just not a whole lot out there. But
No.
this is definitely a sports movie with lots of other stuff thrown in. But I mean, it's definitely got a football element to it.
Did you guys notice anything about the soundtrack?
No, I didn't.
I did notice the intro song, "All the Right Moves," seemed like it played for about 10 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah, it was long.
They're driving all around town.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anything you didn't like about it? Oh, I like this. I can pick them, can I? And I know, Joe, that you're just like scoundrel.
Well, I mean, it was a little slower paced movie, but like it wasn't dreadfully slow.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a bunch of fluff. It was like, if we'd cut this, and this out, it would have been a much better movie.
Yeah, the one thing that hit a home run for me is how it showed that teenagers are vulnerable, they're unsure, most of the time they're sincere, they're fundamentally decent. It's just one of those things, so many of the scenes came back to what I felt everybody was like in high school, like he wanted to have sex, she didn't, and his comment was, "Whoa, boy, if Brian and the boys could see me now." And she's like, "This isn't for Brian and the boys." And
Right.
I thought, man, that is so high school.
Yeah.
The boys are posturing for their buddies, and they talk big sex talk, and and the girls are all warm and romancy and want to sweep off their feet, and and then sports are more important than anything. In typing class, I had typing. Do you guys have typing class?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I had like the real typing class like that on real typewriters.
We had keyboarding.
Yeah, you had keyboarding, but so I had real typewriters. Like that was typing class everywhere for every athlete. I mean, I remember I played sports and typing class was a goof off class. Now I did learn how to type. I had Miss Springston and she made you learn how to type.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of the football players and stuff took it just to get an easy A, and
Right.
would goof off in class and stuff. And what'd you guys think of that scene? Did you see that coming?
That was weird.
Justin's like, "Oh, I did that one.
Yeah.
That was my move in high school."
Yeah, I knew something weird was about to happen. I didn't know what they were planning. That girl in the typing class keeps looking back. And,
Yeah.
Well, and
do it.
yeah.
What are they talking about?
Yeah. And how about when he slammed the desk down on his junk?
Yeah, I was
Oh
like-
my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, really? It's one of those quick reactions you gotta
Ugh.
do. But it's like, really?
Yeah. That's killer. I was like, that's just,
My only thought was, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. I thought it was a little weird or odd that that coach was the keyboarding teacher, because to me, he doesn't look like the type that'd give two hoots on teaching keyboard.
That's
or
the way it
typing.
is, though. I mean, back in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, the coaches always had fluff classes.
Right, but like typing, I mean that.
Yeah, kind of feminine.
No, not even that. It's just like I could see him being like gym teacher, driver's ed teacher, or something like that.
You nailed it. Most coaches are drivers
Exactly.
ed, gym.
See,
Yeah, I agree.
typing just
yeah.
doesn't fall into that.
That is interesting. I wonder why they put him in that position. Because they could have put anybody there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it was the coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out the correlation, because
I wonder if they just is a fluff class because the coach taught it and let his athletes goof off and sit in the back.
maybe that was the justification, but
I don't know. That's funny.
because most of the time,
Yeah.
they're known for a gym teacher or driver's ed. I've never seen a coach or even thought of in that realm of a type teacher, because typing seems a little bit more of
Yeah.
a serious class. Like,
What'd you make of the coach? There's a dancing scene in the locker room, and he comes in and does a little bit of a jiggle.
Yeah. Well,
was
the team's riding a high.
Yeah.
I
He
mean-
dances for a bit and then toughens up on him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he gets lost in the moment,
Yeah.
and then he gets, oh yeah, I got a job to do.
Yeah.
Time out. It's kind of crazy. I mean, what a ride, you know. Adolescence, you know, wrapping up the high school stuff, and just how, you know, most teenagers walk around all the time feeling guilty anyway, because they just do dumb stuff. You know,
Right.
it's just part of being a teenager. You're gonna do dumb stuff, and you know you're gonna do dumb stuff. Everybody blames you for doing dumb stuff. I mean, I can't. It brought me back to when I was in high school, and you know, probably every 15 or 20 minutes, somebody was calling me a knucklehead because I was doing something dumb.
right.
You know, whether it was innocent or guilty, it didn't matter. You know, like, oh yeah, you're right, I did do that. Okay. But you know, it just brought back all those and the leather jackets. You know, I was just like,
Yeah.
gosh, you know, the days of wearing your Letterman jacket around, that was the thing.
Yeah, all those guys were definitely strutting their stuff a lot. They had a certain swag to them.
Oh yeah,
That was a little bit funny.
remind you of
to watch.
basketball season, Jay Dizzy.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm the man. Ladies, come out and watch me dribble the ball on basketball night. And Joe, you played football, so
Yeah.
yeah, you know. Did it bring back any memories for you? And you're like, oh yeah,
Well, I will say, like you said, the believability of it is spot on. I mean,
Yeah.
there was nothing that you'd watch it and go, you know what, I played football and that never happened, or okay, they over exaggerated that just a little bit. The believability was pretty
Yeah.
spot on.
I did spot one thing.
Okay.
When they were dancing in the locker room, the guy's in his jock strap with his shoulder pads on. You never put your shoulder pads on before you like get your stuff on. Shoulder pads are always last.
Right.
I mean, they're goofing off. but
Right.
I was just
talked
like,
it up to him being a knucklehead and
yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess you're right. You always have that one guy in the locker room.
yeah.
Shoulder pads. Check.
Yeah.
Pants? Where's my pants? But I was kind of like, what in the heck is that about? But then I don't know. Maybe he's just being funny. It's hard to tell.
Yep.
But okay, well,
Rate this baby?
rate this baby. It's a mop bucket for me. I'm not gonna hide it. This is one of my all-time favorites. I've been waiting to pull it out,
Uh-huh.
waiting for the 39th year of week of October 19th.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you know, bam.
Yeah.
I'm glad it rolled around on my rotation. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I can't quite go mop bucket because just for me personally, my
Scoundrel.
music taste, movie taste, I like a Forrest Gump or like we said, Shawshank Redemption. That's more of my speed. But as far as this goes, as far as a sports movie goes, I definitely rank this higher than Slapshot. And I think overall it does a very solid job of, for what it is, being a teen high school football movie, which is not like the first thing I reach for to off the shelf when I'm looking for a movie that's going to blow me away. But for what it does it well. Cruise does well. All the supporting actors do well. There's not too many eye-rolling, ridiculous stuff. It's all pretty grounded and, like you said, pretty realistic, Joe. And I got to go large on this one.
You're fired. We're kicking you off the island. I thought Leah Thompson did outstanding, by the way.
She did.
I mean, she was a sweetheart. Oh my gosh, who's not in love with her after this movie?
Right.
Anyway, Joseph, rate this
Okay.
baby up.
Well-
Show Justin the error of his ways.
Well, I can't. I had a rating, and then this discussion has changed it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, in all fairness, Davis changed it for the better. So keep your size to a minimum, or I will change it just to mess everything up.
I'm just curious, where did you start out coming into the room?
I was coming in the room with an overflowing medium,
Uh-huh.
so now
I was right there with you, I think.
I'm flirting with the overflowing medium and a large. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to a large, just based off our discussion.
Yeah. I agree with Justin for sure that the soundtrack was definitely the low of this. They could have
Yeah.
done better. I mean, it's so hard because good movies like outstanding, like Forrest Gump,
Right.
What a soundtrack.
Oh, absolutely.
But I would not go out and buy the soundtrack. But I have Forrest Gump's soundtrack.
Right.
Just because movies, can be made by the music. And this one, as you said, Justin, the 10-minute All the Right Moves song playing forever. I mean.
All the right.
Hold on, sing it again. What?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's so hard just to have a not great soundtrack. Okay, it was okay, but not great.
Well, it's just like last week with Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
That right at the close of scene, that Chris Stapleton song,
Yeah.
that just nailed it right there.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
I'm a huge Chris Stapleton fan anyway,
Yeah.
so that put a little extra cherry on the top for me.
Yeah.
But
And they could have done this with this movie. I mean, they had Star Wars back in the 80s. They had plenty of movies that had great
there was
soundtracks.
there was plenty of music in the music archives they could have done for.
I mean,
but,
Vision Quest had Madonna as a young
right,
actress / musician.
right.
All right. Well, that sounds good.
solid
boys.
sports movie, I think.
Oh, I think it's the best sports movie ever, other than Vision Quest.
Yeah, Vision Quest was my bugger for me.
I mean, you have what other sports
This is right
movie
under there.
captures everything realistically and still has a good movie?
True.
I think Prefontaine's pretty good. Well, I remember it being good.
Prefontaine is great. Yeah.
I gotta go watch that one again, but
Well, that could be. Prefontaine's on my list.
yeah.
It's so hard to get though.
Yeah.
I don't even think we can get it.
What's it called? Prefontaine.
Yeah, Prefontaine.
Well, I might have to duck out of here, and then I'll just leave the next pick to be a mystery to me.
What? Okay. No, we're done. Next, who's got the next pick?
That would be me.
Joseph.
You got it, Joseph?
Yes, sir. So since we're running quick on time here, not even going to give you a teaser.
Ooh.
We're going to go with a Woody Harrelson flick. And with
right.
Zombie Land.
Yep, with Halloween right around the corner, I had to go that route.
Okay.
Because I was going to go with the Halloween pick. I was either going to go with that or one of the Halloween movies or a Chucky movie. So Zombie
I know
Land.
you were dying to get Zombie Land in there.
Yeah, well, because that's where the algorithms took me.
Gotcha. I like it. I like you're back to your algorithms.
Yeah, so the algorithms, and with it being Halloween, it's like, ooh, that's a sign. I've got to do it.
It's a sign. The algorithms don't give you signs; they give you science.
Yeah. Because
Anyway.
I want to do a Halloween movie, and it's like
Nice.
between that or Chucky or Halloween, it's like because the new Halloween Ends is out, which I'm
Hey,
excited
I'm just gonna
about.
throw this out there. I'm hitting home runs, boys. You guys got to step up your game.
Oh, I did all right with Hell or High Water.
You did. That was actually really
Yeah, that was.
good. Redemption approved.
Yeah, that pulled you out of pig.
Let's see how Joe does with Zombieland.
Yeah, so next week, Zombieland.
Give us a rundown, Joe.
All right, so for all of our news and reviews, check our website, beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Been There, Watch That. We're on all the major platforms. All of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm. And be sure to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, or Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at BTWT Pod for all that.
Sounds great. And Justin?
Been there, watch that.